Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. Everything indicates that the current Prime Minister, Mateusz Morawiecki, will once again be given the mission of forming the new government in Poland. The head posts of most ministries remain an open issue. Aleksandra Zarzycka has more on potential cabinet appointments.
One thing is for certain. The new cabinet after the elections will be formed by Mateusz Morawiecki. The names and changes in the construction of the government team, there are still to be decided. This opens the field for speculation. There have been some unofficial leaks that we will see new faces and that the new team will be one of continuation and acceleration. According to the government spokesman, each of the two Law and Justice coalition parties will receive 2 heads of ministries. Jarosław Gowin is planned to stay as the head of the Ministry of Education and Higher Education, and Jadwiga Emilewicz will be the head of the Ministry of Infrastructure. Zbigniew Ziobro is to stay as the head of the Ministry of Justice, and someone from the United Poland Party will head one of the ministries, and the most frequently mentioned is the Ministry of Digital Affairs with Marcin Horała, the candidate to be its leader. There is an idea to revive the ministry to oversee the companies run with the funds from the government treasury. The candidate mentioned is Jacek Sasin. The head of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs seems to be up for grabs, probably between Krzysztof Szczerski or Konrad Szymański. Krzysztof Szczerski himself said in one of the interviews that it does not seem feasible for him to be moving from the presidential palace to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The media speculations are bringing a new idea of creating super ministry with all special services and special forces of internal affairs under one roof, with Mariusz Kamiński heading that ministry. For now, all of this is media speculation, and the final makeup of the cabinet will be presented by the Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki.
Do tej pory kluczowe decyzje dotyczące życia Polaków.
Until now, Jarosław Kaczyński made decisions himself personally, and as far as I'm concerned, nothing has changed with that. The only difference will be that some other people will pull funds from the treasury for themselves. I do not see any thoughts here about more efficient mode of operating the country.
Skarbu Państwa na swoją rzecz. Nic takiego tajemniczego.
There is nothing mysterious nor difficult which comes up in forming the new government. There are natural negotiations between coalition parties in the Law and Justice bloc called United Right.
W ścisłym gronie i bardzo dobrze.
The deadline for the negotiations is November 12th, when the new parliament will assemble for the first time after the elections, and the old cabinet will step down at that moment.
Today, Polish prosecutors visited the Smolensk North Military Airport, where the wreck of the Polish Tu-154M plane is located. According to unofficial information, the purpose of the visit is to conduct research that, according to the American experts, cooperating with Polish investigators is necessary. The last time the Polish prosecutors were in Smolensk was May, earlier this year. On April 10, 2010, the Tu-154M aircraft carrying a Polish delegation going to the 70th anniversary of the Katyn massacre crashed near Smolensk. 96 people were killed, including the President of Poland, Lech Kaczynski. A 31-year-old woman, along with 3 young children, have died in a tenement house fire in the city of Inowrocław. The 3-story house is located at Orłowska Street on the outskirts of Inowrocław.
Some residents of the tenement house escaped before the fire brigade arrived. According to police information, a minimum of 40 people are registered in the tenement house. Firemen took an unconscious woman and her 3 children from one of the apartments. Unfortunately, despite attempts to resuscitate them, they could not be saved. The cause is as yet unknown. Police reported that the prosecutor's investigation will be initiated. The president of Inowrocław has announced a 2-day mourning period.
The spectacular actions of the American Special Forces, in which the head of the Islamic State, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, was killed, remains one of the hottest topics online and in the media. Commentators have described this as a blow to Islamic terrorists. But the death of the self-proclaimed caliph is by no means spelling the end of ISIS.
The news of the death of the leader of the Islamic State, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who was one of the most wanted terrorists by the United States, has dominated the media around the world. On Sunday, the American President Donald Trump announced at a press conference that al-Baghdadi blew himself up along with 3 children during an operation of the U.S. Special Forces in Syria. Trump added that he was watching the operation live in the White House.
He died like a dog. He died like a coward. He was whimpering, screaming, and crying. And frankly, I think it's something that should be brought out. so that his followers and all of these young kids that want to leave various countries, including the United States, they should see how he died.
I am happy because I was imprisoned 3 times by the Islamic State. I have problems with my back and nervous system until now because of all the torture. Thank God I'm happy today, very happy. Baghdadi led the terrorist organization since 2010, when it was still part of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. News of his death emerged several times before, most recently in June 2017, although the White House did not release a special statement back then. The killing of Baghdadi, of course we are against all terrorist organizations. God willing, Syria will be cleansed of all terrorists and terrorist organizations, and at the head the biggest terrorist is Bashar al-Assad regime.
A motion regarding early elections submitted by Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been put to the vote in the House of Commons today. According to British media, the head of the government will not be able to find the required majority of 2/3 of deputies to push through the proposal. Earlier, the House of Commons approved the agreement on the withdrawal of Great Britain from the European Union, but the MPs did not agree to the 3-day schedule of work on the bill proposed by the head of the government. Today, the ambassadors of the member states of the European Union have agreed yet again to postpone Brexit, this time until January the 31st, 2020.
Order.
The British PM mentioned the possibility of asking for earlier elections before Tuesday's vote on the Brexit deal. The project of leaving the EU passed the first vote, although the MPs did not agree with the quick legislative route propagated by the government, which planned to end the work on the bill after 3 days. The lack of agreement on this part means that the Brexit bill won't come into force before October 31st, the due date given by the EU. Although all the major parties in England technically agree on the need for the new elections, it's still unclear whether all the MPs will support their party's stance. The current term of the House of Commons ends in 2022. According to the bill concerning the length of the Chamber's term of office, the earlier elections can take place only if it's voted for by 2/3 of the House.
Thank you very much for joining me here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily Weather. It's followed by the business, then it's the culture, the history, and finally the travel.
Hello and welcome to Poland Daily Weather. The forecast for tonight calls for showers in the northwest, where the cities of Bydgoszcz, Koszalin, Szczecin and Gdańsk will see temperatures of 4 to 6 degrees. In the central regions in Warsaw, Poznań, Zielona Góra, and also in Lublin, we can expect to see partly cloudy skies and temperatures of 4 to 5 degrees. Wrocław and Katowice will see cloudy skies and temperatures of 5 and 6 degrees, while the rest of the country can expect clear skies and temperatures of 3 degrees in the northeast to 6 degrees in the south in Krakow. Tomorrow, we can expect to see showers in the northwest and southeast, clear skies in Zielona Góra, and partly cloudy skies in the rest of the country. We should expect to see a fairly cool day, with temperatures varying from 9 to 12 degrees. The next 3 days will bring showers on Wednesday in the southeast. On Thursday, we can expect showers in the central and northern regions of the country, and by Friday, the temperatures will drop slightly to 6 to 9 degrees, and we can expect partly cloudy skies. That is all for now. I thank you for joining us, and I invite you to stay with us later on for Poland Daily Business.
You're watching Poland Daily Business Edition. Tonight we will talk about India and its problems and opportunities and chances that this country has in front of its next few decades, maybe Indian economical miracle. Professor Shailendra Kumar Raj of Management Development Institute in New Delhi. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
And the energy. If we talk about Polish economy, the focus very often turns to the energy and energy needs. Poland uses about half as much energy per capita as the most developed nations in the world, South Korea, Germany, United Kingdom. So we know that the price of energy will grow. is the same problem in India? Do you have the same issues?
Energy is a problem in India, and the point here is that our energy depends on, one is of course the coal is there, hydropower is there. We don't use mostly thermal, we use thermal or not nuclear or something. So if you see all states and regions in total, so many states have problems of energy, and that's why in those states we don't have industry, because manufacturing based on diesel or petrol or other coal or other resources of energy increases the price, and in that case the companies will not become competitive. And for that purpose, and we have for coal we have only one company, which is a public sector company called Coal India Limited, and which has 4 subsidiaries, and they dominate the entire coal industry. But recently they also started importing coal from Poland, coal from some Australia and other countries. But the quality of coal from Australia and Indonesia and other countries are not as good actually, because they have a different categories of coal actually. But Polish coal is good, and recently last week government has allowed 100% FDI to coal also, so which has further given opportunity to Polish companies.
So you're looking for Polish companies to establish a mine in India?
Yeah, and one thing is mine, and the second is they have technology. That technology can be used in mines and to ensure that it is green, that green concept is not compromised. So they have green technology. They can use best technology. They can use that in mines in India, and that will help Indian companies as well as help Indian people who are actually working in or living in those areas. Because if you go there in today's context, it is totally polluted, right? So you can't breathe actually the way. So we need coal, but at the same time we need to control environment.
Right. So there's with the coal industry, first of all, is the emission of not only the CO2 but other pollutants that are connected to that. That's from the power station side. You have the mining process, which is dangerous, and you need to decrease the level of deaths or injuries connected to that. We also have technologies for that. And last but not least, we have this demethanization technology that allows you to use a methane that is considered very dangerous gas in the mining industry and use it for profit.
Profit for other, another byproduct of the mining area.
So what percentage of India's energy is made from coal?
It is mostly, I think, around 40%. 40% is from that, and the rest are from hydro and thermal.
And it is interesting because the Europe is right now turning away from its own coal.
Even Australia is only using, because they have huge coal mines. Europe is not. And that is only because, that's why I said that Europe can afford actually to stop mining and become environment friendly, but we can't afford. And we have coal, and we don't have other resources actually to use. We don't want to use nuclear after this accidents happened in Japan and other countries. So we want to use coal, but we want to use coal in an environment friendly manner, and we need support from Polish companies in that.
I think they will be glad to offer assistance. Do you see it as a hypocrisy that the rich countries of the West are telling to the poor countries of the South, you should not use more energy, you should not produce more power for your people, because we have washing machines, electric cars, everything is powered, trains and so on, and you shouldn't have it because of the energy of the environment.
See, sometimes, it is, of course, it is, their approach is not good, but at the same time, we think, when, at this point of time, our concern is to be more concerned about global warming, and which is not only affecting Europe, but all over the world. So the way we face global warming in India, the way you face global warming in India, it is almost the same. The point here is that our way of doing business is creating polluting environment. Your way of doing business or having a different lifestyle is creating polluting environment. So we have to come together and think about a green world rather than developed world.
But yeah, definitely India wants to be a developed country, and we have standards of living as good as in Europe. And with current technology, I see no contradiction. I mean, there's no, to me at least, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think there is one reason why Indians should not have cars, washing machines, houses, everything we have in Europe.
We have everything, but the only point is that we also want to move from diesel, petrol to clean energy.
Yeah, of course.
So cars are there, and that's why I said earlier that our biggest concern is we should not become old before we become rich. So we have only 30 years exact. In 30 years, our objective is to make per capita income from 1900 to 40,000, and that is the the challenge that we face. And for that purpose, we have been trying hard. Our people are trying hard. Our government has been trying hard. To achieve the target, and we need support from all over the world and all over. No, it is not like one-way support. We have many things, as I say, that we have a democracy, we have a demographic dividend, and we have demand to offer to all over the world.
Professor Shailendra Kumar Raj, and this is clearly a win-win situation. When India achieves its goals, everyone will be happy. Also outside.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for this conversation.
So much. Thank you so
and
much.
that was it for Poland Daily Business tonight.
Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily Business Weather. The forecast tomorrow will bring scattered showers in the northeast and southeast. The central regions of Poland will see partly cloudy skies, and Zielona Góra will see clear skies. The temperatures will vary from a low of 9 degrees in the north to a high of 12 degrees in Krakow. In Europe, Warsaw and Bern can expect to see showers and temperatures of 8 and 10 degrees. Clear skies will greet the citizens of Oslo, Stockholm, and Vilnius, where the temperatures will vary between 4 and 5 degrees. Lisbon will see cloudy skies and a temperature of 21 degrees. The rest of the continent can expect to see partly cloudy skies. The coldest spot on the map will be Helsinki at a high of 2 degrees, while the warmest will be Rome and Athens at 23 degrees. That is all for now. I thank you for joining us, and I wish you all a very pleasant evening.
Good day, everyone. My name is Maria Kądzielska, and this is Poland Daily Culture. Being an artist those days ain't an easy task. The question is, do we at all need artists? We are going to convince you that yes, we do. In order to do it, a young Polish painter, Joasia Gąska, opened the doors of her studio for us. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for having me, Maria.
But before we start, let's have a look at her works. Asia, you're a painter, so every day you think about doing something new and being creative, which must be a very hard work. But let's talk about art in general. Tell us, do you have a favorite painter? Do you have someone who inspires you the most?
I wouldn't say so. I guess there are a lot of inspiration everywhere. You can say that some artists are better than others. I also like people not talented, to which would they not talented quote yeah.
So what is like interesting to watch a bad piece of art as well?
Yes.
To see why it's bad.
What is interesting in art is that someone shows her or his inner side, right? So you can see what is inside of someone's head, and it's always somehow surprising, always. It's like when you take something and you draw something, it's gonna be surprising also. You are writing, so what you write is also a kind of surprise, right? You probably find moments when you are surprised what you've done.
That's true. So there's a feeling when a piece of art or a piece of writing becomes to start living their own life.
Yeah, this is a sort of freedom, inner freedom.
So do you have this experience as well, that you started the painting and then it goes the way which you didn't expect to go?
Yeah, it always happens. Yeah, this is the best. And I guess it's something you can feel when you watch art. Art is interesting when you can notice this moment, this inner freedom. Yeah.
Inner freedom, that it comes to this. And it's while they live their own life.
Yeah. You see that that person who made it was not forced to do this, and this is something that really came from the inside.
So are you in favor of a Platonic concept of just God mania, which comes to you, which comes through the artist to the world?
I don't know if God is necessary. It
some
just
mania,
happens,
some kind
right?
of creation,
This
some
is
kind of force.
Energy flow. It's something energy flow that is not stopped in any way, or it's not changed through some that somebody told someone to do something. Right? It just happens.
During all of your time of working, is there any single painting which you are the most proud of, which in your opinion is your biggest achievement so far?
Absolutely not. No, I actually forget about things I've already done, and I just don't care about them. I like doing these things. I like this movement, and I feel even a little bit strange talking about that and showing that to people. Look, this is my art. I want to show you that. Would you like maybe to, I don't know, watch it, right? I feel that it's kind of strange. I like doing it, but not exactly. Effects are not that important for me.
What I would understand, it's a little bit hard to talk about paintings because it's a different form of expression, not talking, but painting. That's why you paint, you don't talk about the topic. That's the case. But who would you like to have your paintings at home? Do you have this feeling that if you let go of a painting, you will miss it, for example?
Sebastian Kurczyk, just because it would mean a lot for a market.
Okay, so you would like Sebastian Kurczyk to buy your painting?
Yeah, I would like him to, and to do it in public.
To post it
I
on
would
Facebook,
like to have
for
it
example.
like written in Forbes or something like that. To just.
So you're aiming high already. You put a very, very high barrel from the very beginning.
Yeah, I'm a very ambitious person. As I told you, Maria, I was in the same high school as Jarosław Kaczyński, so it's actually the same sort of
ambition which drives you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Sebastian Kurczyk is watching us, we recommend you then to fulfill the dream of a young Polish artist and buy one of her paintings. And thank you for watching Poland Daily Culture.
Welcome to Poland Daily History. I'm here in the studio with Stefan Thompson, an Anglo-Polish filmmaker. Stefan, welcome back.
Hello, Nicholas. Hi.
We've talked about some cheerful things and some less cheerful things, but something which, of course, is still very much partly in the collective memory is this whole issue of sort of oppression under the Stalinist era.
Yeah.
And the one particular judge of Stefan Michnik, who's currently in Sweden. And there have been various attempts to get him back. And you've also looked at this, I think, in part of your film work.
I did. It was an issue that I spoke about, and the Michnik is, the video I made was specifically about Michnik and about Sweden's refusal to extradite him. But the film wasn't actually just about him. That wasn't really the purpose of the video is I think one of the great injustices of the 20th century is the fact that Nazism was recognized for what it was, for a totalitarian ideology that leads to one thing. It leads to death camps, it leads to concentration camps, it leads to mass death, terror, and all-round misery. And no one in their right mind denies this.
No,
I mean, you will struggle to find a Nazi today. I mean, almost impossible. Whereas communism, the other great totalitarianism of the 20th century, one that has caused misery for an entire century, and not just in Soviet Russia, but the whole Eastern Bloc, Cuba, various African countries stretching from Angola to northern countries such as Algeria, where also attempts at a soft form of Marxism were introduced, all the way to Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, not Thailand, I meant Vietnam, sorry. There we are, various forms of communist totalitarianism being introduced, all with the same miserable result.
Exactly.
Which is hunger, death, gulags, various embodiments of concentration camps, work camps, mass internment, torture. And that is a great injustice, I believe, to hundreds of millions of people who have been subjected to this ideology, who have been experimented upon, and who have suffered in the name of a minor elite's attempts to introduce a utopian vision of the world that has never ever succeeded.
And of course, in the West, the communists are always sort of given the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, precisely. I mean,
if only we'd had more communism, the world would be a happier place. If only. And it's odd in a way that nobody, this I'm not saying it should be, because they were both, as you've pointed out, evil systems. But anybody who sort of slightly stands up for anything is immediately branded a fascist and therefore loses all right to speak. But anybody who may be equally guilty on the left-wing side of this spectrum, of course, is somehow, they've got to be tolerated because they mean well. Extraordinary. But of course, and your film, of course, dealing with this particular aspect and this sort of running sore that this man is still at large.
The point I was making was that all sorts of Nazi war criminals have been extradited, have been hunted, rightfully so, and yet here we have several. There's a very decreasing number of Polish Stalinist judges who haven't faced justice for various crimes committed. Stefan Michnik stands accused of war crimes. No statute of limitations on those. Those don't run out. And I mean, directly involved in the murder of about 21 people. I mean, the summary execution of soldiers of the anti-communist uprising that lasted between 1944 and 1956, according to some people up until 63, when the last of the so-called cursed soldiers was murdered. And this is a terrible crime, and in Poland, and not just Poland, the whole Eastern Bloc, with the exception perhaps of Romania, where we had these velvet revolutions and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that is a bad thing, that the transition of power was peaceful, but there was no one faced responsibility for the misery that was enforced on Eastern Europe for 50 years, apart from Ceausescu, who was summarized. I mean, he was murdered in a very brutal way, and in fact probably should have stood trial, and it should have been done in the correct way. But apart from Ceausescu, no one's been jailed, or I mean, people have obviously been tried, but very few people have actually faced responsibility for their crimes and for their involvement in this totalitarian ideology. And that is my interest in that is looking at the world today. From my experiences at a British university recently, where the Marxist Society was tolerated, and the LSE, when I was in UCL at the time, there was a very interesting court case where a Ukrainian student took LSE to court for flying a communist flag off one of their buildings. The Marxist Society was allowed to fly a communist flag. And it took a Ukrainian girl fighting this and saying, you know, this is the flag of an ideology that has oppressed my country for about 80 years. And
if you carry to your logical conclusion, if these people were in charge, you wouldn't be able to fly the flags you wanted. I mean, this is a great irony, which is missed, of course, by the left, that they don't seem to realise that this freedom, which they have to do what they do, of course, would be completely lacking if the system which they pretend to advocate actually ever came to pass.
Yeah.
One of the great ironies of the.
So that's definitely one of the things that I think is incredibly important for people from Central and Eastern Europe, people who have lived under this ideology, is to warn people, especially in the West, where various people masked in various guises and various disguises are trying to force through, impose, or get elected, or implement various policies which will inevitably fail and which will lead to hunger, misery, death, destruction, and chaos. And I think that Central and Eastern Europe, having gone through those experiences firsthand, knowing what hides behind those good intentions, and I think that saying the adage that the road to hell is paved with good intentions is incredibly accurate, because indeed many of these Western Marxists and Western radicals, leftist radicals, are in fact well-intentioned. And I'm not, I don't question their good intentions. I question the end result of their good intentions.
Yes, exactly.
And that, I think, is something that we really ought, in a sense, the fact that Central and Eastern Europe, especially in this case Poland, in my case Poland, has suffered under this totalitarian regime. It makes us responsible. And I believe this very deeply, that this is a responsibility of people who have suffered under this regime to stand up and warn others. That is, if there is anything positive that we can take out of this experience, it is that we can now warn others, because I don't believe there is anything positive that has come out of communism. That is the only thing that we have, in a sense, from that time period, is that we can warn others behind this great tragedy and this great danger.
Not to make the same mistake in the future. That's a good note on which to end this section. Thank you, Steph.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Right, so what are we, this is the manor house from...
Yes, from Żyżyn. It's different, it's difficult to say that.
Where's it from? Where?
From Żyżyn.
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 Did I say okay?
That's right.
Żyżyn?
Yes,
okay.
Żyżyn.
Okay, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. And when was the house built?
It was built in the second half of the 18th century.
Mm-hmm.
But today we do not know the name of the first owner.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't know to whom it was built exactly.
Okay, but this is an example of a Polish noble house, or house of the gentry, something like that?
Yes, exactly.
Of the
house
time?
Of the gentry, yes.
Yeah, and it's called a dwór, right?
Dwór.
Dwór.
Mm-hmm. Dwór.
I said it too. Dwór.
Dwór.
Is that right? Yeah, okay. And
excuse me, try again.
Yes, tell me.
Dwór.
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 Yes.
That sounds better. Okay. All right, thanks. And inside we will see what kind of stuff?
Inside, the interior represents late August 1939, just before the Second World War.
Very interesting.
Yes, it is interesting.
Let's go have a look. Yeah, let's go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Poland Daily Travel. In this series of episodes, we will be showing you the city of Lublin. That's right, Lublin, the great city east of the Wisła River in Poland, otherwise known as the Vistula River, that is. Lublin's an amazing city. It's really quite a fantastic place to stop off. absolutely dripping with history and fun. It is the 9th largest city in Poland. It is the capital and center of the Lubelska province. And it's about 170 kilometers southeast of the capital, Warsaw. It was the Polish-Lithuanian Union in 1385 that really put Lublin on the map, on a strategic route between Krakow and Vilnius. The Lublin Parliament of 1569 created an actual union between Lithuania and Poland. It was the Lublin Parliament of 1569 that actually united Lithuania and Poland politically. So we're going to be getting an all-round view of the city. We're going to the Museum of Lublin in the countryside. This is a fantastic and captivating living museum of the way life was in the region 100 and more years ago, focusing particularly on the interwar period. That's the period from 1919 to 1939. We'll also go to the Royal Castle in Lublin, and we'll check out the Holy Trinity Chapel with some of the most, well, breathtaking frescoes you're going to see anywhere in Europe. We'll stroll through the old town and comment on its captivating Jewish history. Catholics and Jews lived side by side in Lublin in Lubelski province for hundreds of years. It was a peaceful and fruitful cooperation. We'll also take a look at a brewery which is at the center of the development of the economics in the province, and we'll take a look at the museum and see how beer is and was made. And lastly, but not least, we'll head to a onion bread bakery, and we're going to go through the ritual of how you make onion bread, a staple product along with beer in this region. All in all, you're going to find this an extremely rewarding trip to Lublin, and we hope that you'll see it in a light that you've never seen it before. Poland Daily Travel. Why do we do it? We do it for you. We promise you nothing but the best. Lublin, past, present, and future with Poland Daily Travel. Okay, so behind us right now, behind Dagmara and myself, we have a classic Dvor. I mean, this is as good an example as I've seen, I think.
Yes, probably.
You think so? Yeah, you're very proud of this house. What is the makeup of this house? What makes it different from other houses?
What makes it different?
Very Polish.
As I've mentioned before, we do not know to whom it was built exactly. That's why, as you can see behind the doors, the main entrance, we do not have any crest. So
coat of arms or something.
Yes, so it's the first sign. Another thing which is important about this manor house is that the roof is special. It's shingled with windows, 2 windows in it. Inside we have 12 rooms, but again, when it comes to exterior, we have 3 porches from 3 sides of our manor house.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
yeah.
Excuse me, it was built from wood. It's made of wood, lark wood, and it's plastered both outside and inside.
But this is a particularly Polish style, this type of house.
Yes, it's true. Polish style.
And it's sort of, as I remember the rooms, you can sort of walk through the whole house.
Yes.
Each room is contiguous or open to the other, right?
True, right.
Yeah, which is a very comfortable way to live, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
I
Would you like to live
agree.
in a house like that? Would you like to live in a house like that?
In the house like that, yes, it's true. But I don't think that when you have rooms, when you enter each room to reach the point that you are interested in, so it's not so comfortable.
No, you don't think so. We can close the door, right?
Yes.
And we'll
Yes,
continue.
still
We're
we
going to
can
go inside and
close the
have this
door.
argument out. How about that?
Okay, let's go inside.
Okay, good. Come on. We go this way? Yeah. I think it's a great house. Yeah?
Yes,
you think it's a bit of a problem with the
today it's
today
a problem.
it's not modern style, right?
Yes, but it's still great.